My name is Paekel. I sit on the People's Assembly Circle within Extinction Rebellion, which means that I facilitate and train people to run People's Assemblies. It's been used as a process for sharing, problem solving and taking decisions together in a collective way by many social movement for change, for social change, and it's very effective. It's also a way for us to move very fast, to get feedback from people in the street, as we are doing now at the moment. We're just doing one today on the issue of water.
Hi, my name's Henry Muss. I've been campaigning with a group of lobbying organisations for the last 5 years around solutions to various climate impacts for London, specifically around urban heat island effects, flooding, too much water, too little water, air quality, and how we future-proof the city.
I hereby open our Citizens' Assembly!
The way we run People's Assemblies by inviting experts, which will create as kind of sources of information, different perspectives in terms of knowledge, which will inform participants. And these people are people like you and me. You know, they don't necessarily know anything about water, but they are concerned, you know, and involved with the matter, with the subject matter.
My particular concern is that Thames Water, who are responsible for 14 million customers in the whole Thames basin, which is right up to Oxfordshire, are the people that really are tasked with looking after the river, and they're having to deal with torrential downpours with an old sewage system which wasn't designed for downpours, it was designed for drizzle. And their idea to prevent sewage mixing with fresh rainfall and being chucked into the river is to build essentially a massive 25-kilometre long concrete water butt, which will be empty for the majority of the time and will really be mainly just slightly polluted fresh drinking water. And we're at a stage now in this development, even though the tunnel has started and it's a £5 billion tunnel, where we need to make a decision. Are some of the big carbon infrastructure projects that we're looking at now going along in the right path?
We know that 23 stations on the London Underground are at high risk of flooding. 643 schools are at risk of flooding. So this, you can just imagine the impact on Londoners' everyday lives. This isn't theoretical. This isn't, you know, something that is happening somewhere away, somewhere across the other side of the world. This is stuff that is happening here and now.
The wildlife is starting to change. The wildlife is starting to change from wildlife that is more suited to a wet environment to one that is more suited to a dry environment. We just want to help nature along. Rather than fight the river, we want to work with its dynamism.
Targeted by London Borough. The first is to reduce air temperatures by 4 degrees centigrade by 2035. And we can do that, I believe, by blue-greening London.
So we had different people who offered different ideas, different perspectives on this, and we've now invited people to sit in small circles in a way that I always say takes me back to the ancient ways of sharing. You know, it's like sitting around the fire, sharing our stories from the heart authentically. It's not about mind stuff, it's not about opinions and ideas necessarily, it's much more about mind and heart connected, how we're truly experiencing something. And the process, the rules of engagement in a People's Assembly is that there will be a facilitator and a note taker in each group. And the facilitator will ensure that there is equal share of voice for everyone, making sure that each person has the space and the time to really share how they feel. So it's giving the voice to the people. That's the process. They will then take turns. So it's not like having a conversation where you get kind of people interject or you get interrupted, you know, when you're sharing your experience.
So we're hoping that today, when we ask the people with experts, what do they think? Are we going the right way? And what we really need is for the government to take a lead, given that it's a climate emergency. It has the power to look at these schemes to work out, is there an alternate agenda? Who is really benefiting it? And is it fair that 14 million Londoners are paying for a tunnel that has no effect on flooding
So 3 pillars, behind people's assemblies. First one is radical inclusivity. Second one is trust. We have to trust that process, and in my experience, each time it works. When we have the principle of trust, to start with. And the third one is active listening. So we'll give them 5 more minutes, and I'll get note takers to then select the key points that they will then present, to the rest of the assembly afterwards.
So what do you have?
We hope that maybe streets could become self-sufficient in reusing their own rainwater as grey water for loo flushing.
If you inject a sense of playfulness into it, it becomes less negative, less scary, and can increase participation. So connected to that, we thought about having songs and poetry.
There's more information on blue-green for the public. That would include information on infrastructural changes as well as lifestyle changes, so that people can really understand what the future looked like.
And these are the points that we'll then take forward and bring to the authorities, so they have the people's voice in their decision making. Hopefully they will hear it, and we had someone from GLA, so we have someone from different, from a place of, in terms of institutions and authorities, when it comes to water. So, we hope that whatever is produced here will be heard then. I think in meetings that are going to be taking place this week, apparently.